Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic, here with my dog Lucy. Together, we're interviewing cool, creative women entrepreneurs whose work is inspired by their dogs. Do you dream of working alongside your dog? Then sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. You're going to hear from two sisters who started an illustration business inspired by their pets. We're going to be talking about print-on-demand technology, how they used breed-specific targeting to grow their Instagram account, and of course, we're going to hear about all of their pets that inspire everything they do. Let's jump in. I am here with two sisters, Bambi and Sienna Edlund. They are a pair of pet-obsessed sisters living in Vancouver, British Columbia, with 3 black dogs and 2 black cats. Bambi is a graphic designer and illustrator, and Sienna runs a doggy daycare. Together, they create original illustrations of all things dog. Welcome to the podcast, you guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you for being on. So can you introduce which one is Sienna and which one is Bambi so everyone knows?
I'm Sienna. I'm Bambi.
Thank you. And so which one does all of the illustrations?
I'm the illustrator. Yeah, so I do the drawing. Sienna does a lot of the social media and the chatting back and forth to the customers, a lot of customer service. Yeah.
That's awesome. And do you guys like working with each other? Because you're sisters. I have 2 sisters myself, and we've always joked about starting a business together, but luckily we've never done it. So I always kind of wondered what the dynamic was like working together.
So far, so good. Yeah. We've had plans before that we, had an idea here and there, but nothing had ever really panned out. And this just sort of happened really naturally and unfolded quickly. And then all of a sudden we were in it, and it's worked really well for us.
Yeah. Well, and we live, I live in a little house that I built on the back of the property where Sienna lives. In Vancouver, we can do laneway houses. So it's basically subdividing a large lot. So I built a little house here. So we live on the same property. So it makes it much easier because we're,
It sounds like a movie.
Yeah, it's a short commute.
That's so awesome that you guys spend so much time together.
Yeah, it's good. And the beasts all get to commingle.
The dogs all go back and forth.
They're
it's
chewing
like
on
shared custody of pets, kind of.
Totally, yeah. There's always a built-in pet sitter, which is nice.
Yeah, someone's always.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about working from home and having a creative job. You save a lot of money on pet care.
Totally.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how long have you guys had Beatrix and Midge, the business, not the pets?
Just over a year.
Yeah, a year in July.
Yeah.
Was just our anniversary. So it was something that we sort of Bambi had kind of done a few pet illustrations for friends. I was working at a vet clinic, and I got her to do a couple for Christmas the year before.
And the first one was actually one of the clinic cats.
Yeah, we had a clinic cat that had passed away that everybody loved. And so I said, would you maybe draw a little tribute to him? We could put it on the wall. And everybody just went crazy over it. And so she sort of developed her style. And then we were like, these are really popular. People really like them. And she enjoyed doing them. And we were like, I think we got something here.
Yeah, it was really good. It took off really quickly, and then it got a little too popular. We had to rein it back. We had a few spots where we were going to advertise them with friends on Instagram, and we would say, that's enough. I got too many orders.
We're booked through the year.
It was crazy. So then we started doing the breed stuff, the infographics and that. So, and that's been really fun. It's actually more fun than doing the portraits. And it's nice because we have our stuff is done print on demand, so we're able to just sort of play around and try different things. So we didn't really come into it knowing what it was going to be. We just started doing portraits, and then did first infographic, and it took off, and we tried it on different products. So it's just been a bit of a trial and error thing, but it's been super fun, and it's just slowly built. It hasn't gone out of control too fast. We've been able to just ramp it up and stay on top of it.
Yeah.
It's been good.
And the print on demand system, we wouldn't have been able to do it any other way because we don't have an area to, house a bunch of t-shirts and posters and stuff. So, it was something that was easy to get started with.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, if people like it, they can order it. It'll ship directly to them. We don't have to order a bunch of stock and manage it and send it out ourselves.
And we don't have to deal with the border because we're in Canada and like 95% of our sales have been to Americans. So it's perfect that the print on demand is printed in the US, shipped within the US, because that would be a logistical nightmare.
That's so interesting. I would imagine that so many people who are listening would be really interested in learning about this. So print on demand, can you describe a little bit like what exactly the process is for that? Like how much work do you put into it on your end beforehand? And, how does it save you time? Because I imagine that it's just such a great technology to use for you guys.
It's such a good setup. So we have a Shopify site. So we run all of our sales ourselves through Shopify, and it interacts directly with the printer. So basically we have it set up with our amazing print-on-demand printer. They're called Printful. They're in LA, and they also just opened a second third. They opened a third in Europe, but a second in Charlottesville. So they're able to get our stuff out within a day or two. So basically, I do the artwork and set it up to their specifications for the different products. I upload them to their site, and then when we get an order on Shopify, it automatically goes through to Printful. They automatically print it, ship it out, so we don't have to deal with any of that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, and they have their website is amazing. They have little mock-ups of all their products, so you can just upload your artwork onto it, and it'll show you what it's going to look like. So, for advertising and for our website, it's just, pretty seamless.
And they have incredible customer service, which has been a big thing too. Any returns go through them, but they've been really good to deal with. Like we were going in, we were like, we didn't want to get into something where it was dicey when we weren't seeing the product before it went out, so we wanted to make sure we went with someone that had really good quality, and their quality is amazing, and they've just been so good to deal with. So
and it's been fun because they're growing too, so they're adding new products all the time, and so it's kind of like, we then have a new product all of a sudden. They're like, we have towels, and we're like, it's summer, we can do towels. So it's
and
really
then within
exciting.
a week that can be in our shop. That's the thing. We can just have an idea, try it, put it together, send it out. So
that's really awesome. Do you have a favorite product that you've made using them?
We really, really like the canvases. Like they do an amazing job printing, and they hand stretch canvases over wood frames. Yeah, there's one behind us, and the quality is just unbelievable. Like they are astonishing how true to the artwork they are. The colors are bright, and so I think those have been everybody's favorite so far. But
the towels people
are
went
fun.
crazy for the towels, and they're these
like beach towels.
Yeah, they're like these soft microfiber towels. Upside down. So of course, when I heard about it, I had to do a
burner.
Beach
of
burner
course. Yeah.
So they're these soft, but they're like 30 by 60. They're big, and people have just gone crazy for them.
Yeah, and they weigh nothing, so they're light and fast to ship, and they've just.
But the print quality is incredible. Like, I don't know how they're able to print something like that on a towel, but they've got it figured out. So.
That is really awesome. So if anyone has any winter vacations planned, they should definitely check it out and get a beach towel.
Exactly. We're hoping for full-size blankets. We're hoping that's the nice thing about these guys too, is they're game to try stuff, and they take requests of their clients. They say to submit anything that you'd like, and lots of us have said full-size blankets, so hopefully.
That would be awesome. So I think that I probably first discovered your brand through Instagram, because that's where I find most
awesome dog moms that I discover.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your Instagram account. Is it your favorite platform to promote things on? I know it's my favorite platform to be on. And has it affected your sales? You know, how do you use it and how is it benefiting you?
It's been amazing for us. And I think one of the first things that we sort of felt going into this was that Bambi had her Instagram account for Beatrix and Midge, our namesakes, and she had just found this amazing community of, like you said, dog moms, and everybody's just so supportive and so lovely to each other, and it's such an earnest group of people that you feel comfortable sort of trying out something new. So we launched, and all of a sudden we got so much attention, and just all these people that we had followed for so long were interacting with us, and that was really cool. And it just has been invaluable to the brand because
Absolutely.
it's just this real sort of community of pet people, and they're actually excited about the stuff that we're putting out there, and they're using it, and it's the kind of stuff that we would be buying too. So we knew that we had something good when we were like, well, if we're marketing it to ourselves, we are sold. So
We're the target market.
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
our burner shirts on.
Yeah, that's one of the most distinctive things about your company is the Bernese Mountain Dogs.
Yes.
So I noticed just recently that you started branching out to some other breeds, but was sticking to one specific breed. Do you think that really helped with your launch initially? Because you guys have had, it seems like, really good success in just 1 year.
Yeah. Well, because my dog's a Bernese, I was following all kinds of other burner owners, so that we had that built-in audience going in. And early on, we did try we tried branching out and doing multiple breeds. We thought, are we going to reach enough people? But as the years gone on, we found that sticking with it, we thought it might be too small of a niche, Bernese Mountain Dogs, but
one breed.
Even just that, we've had so much fun. And because it's people we know, like the infographic features other dogs that we follow on Instagram, like they're actual real dogs that we know that are in the infographics. And
that's awesome.
It's been really fun. So we've been careful to keep it to breeds that we really, really care about. Like we did Australian cattle dog. Sienna's dog is half Bernese, half Australian cattle dog. And so the healers, that was a natural one for us to do. And Newfies, we've just sort of been keeping it to the dogs that we really love. And I think people respond to that because it's genuine. It's
when you own those pets, the quirks and the funny little things about them, and that's sort of what we've built on. So we kind of decided, let's just stick with what we know.
Yeah, I think that's such a great approach. And tooling around on Instagram, there's so many dedicated breed accounts that it's unbelievable. There's millions probably for each specific breed, it seems like, because once you start going down the rabbit hole, there's just endless accounts.
We paired up early on with one of the Bernese, it's called Bernese Daily. They post daily photos of all the different Bernese Mountain Dogs, and we partnered with them early on, and they post our stuff every so often, and they've been so fantastic to work with. And that just, they have 100,000 followers that are almost all Bernese. They're definitely Bernese lovers. So it's just such an easy way to market to an absolute specific demographic. We're not dealing with a wide mass of people where 1 in 10 is interested. Everybody's specifically there because they love that breed. So it makes it much easier to market to. And we don't want to have to pitch it really hard. We don't want to do a hard sales pitch, and it's just been easy. People have been loving it, and we're just rolling with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that is hard to find, something that's sort of tongue in cheek sometimes and a little bit funny like showcasing those things about your breed that you're
the
like
only burner. Almost.
Yeah, it's like an inside joke almost, some of the things. And so people have just responded to that because it's not just I love my blank.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Once we did the specific weird little traits, then that's just so much more fun to have as an owner too.
So Sienna, how much time do you spend on average managing your social media on a daily basis?
It's been actually pretty average, like about an hour a day usually. Initially, I was doing a lot more, just trying to grow our followers and sort of reaching out to people and saying like, you know, hey, we've got this new thing. Would you be interested in promoting it? And then, you know, we've been lucky to make a few relationships that have worked perfectly for us. And so, you know, it's just sort of,
it's been Instagram mainly.
It's been mainly Instagram. We do have a lot of
interest.
Yeah, a lot of interest comes from Pinterest too, especially for the infographics.
Yeah.
And but that just sort of works on its own. It just sort of goes and keeps circulating and you don't have to do as much work with it. Whereas on Instagram, it's more work when we have new products.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
just getting everything.
Yeah, just getting everything
put into the shop and
out there and making sure that people are seeing it and putting our stories up. But we get really excited when we have new stuff, so we put in a little bit more time then.
Yeah, and it is amazing with Instagram. What we've found, I think, more than anything, is that when we have a promo that goes out, there's a real flurry of activity and then it dies right off. Like you have to really stay on top of it.
Yeah.
That's been the number one thing. I think if we had let it fall away more at any point, it would have been a lot harder to get it back. So we just sort of stay on top of it and
just sort of keep. And it's also really nice to interact with people. Like I really enjoy it.
Right.
And it's like, it's not like, oh, now I have to do this. It's like you wake up in the morning and look at your phone and you're like, oh, response.
Well, that's why it's so wonderful when your business is truly your passion and then it doesn't feel like as much work.
No, exactly. It's so much fun. It's so rewarding. And we've been so lucky.
And we do have dogs.
We've got dogs
today. You can't hear them already.
And they're trying to get into the frame here.
They're all welcome here. So Sienna, you also run a doggy daycare. So how do you juggle all of this running around? And that's a really hectic business.
It is. So that's been just sort of the last few months I've taken over managing a doggy daycare, which is something that I worked at doggy daycare 10 years ago. And then I moved on from that to working at a vet clinic for about 8 or so years. And I spent then almost a full year working on this business. You know, we were both working from home full time.
Yeah.
And so I sort of fell into this role as managing this little business because somebody had to leave. And I loved working in doggy daycare. It was like one of my favorite jobs. You have such a nice interaction with the clients and the dogs. And so it was the perfect time that I was ready to sort of find something else just to kind of get out of the house a little bit and shake off a little dust. And it's perfect for our dogs too. We can take them to work with me and
it pairs well with this business. It's the perfect match.
It's been great. So I renovated and painted the doggy daycare and we put our artwork up on the walls and it's bright and colorful and really fun and people have really responded to it. And then I've sort of been growing that business too on Instagram. And so, you know, it's sort of a seamless thing.
Sure.
Yeah, they work well together and I'm in the same world. It's not like I have to like switch gears totally and go work in a insurance office or something like that. It's all about dog. It's all dog talk all the time.
Well, that's awesome that you've been able to incorporate some of your work into the daycare. I bet people
it's been really
love
fun.
seeing the artwork.
Yeah, and I've got plans for a bigger retail space, so we're going to be able to stock some stuff locally, which is kind of fun, and see some people face to face. We've had a few people ask us, do you have a storefront? And so I've been able to say, it's coming, we're working on it. So that's
so exciting.
Yeah.
Will it be separate from the daycare, or will it kind of be in there?
It's right in the front of the daycare.
That's
so it's
perfect.
a main street, and they weren't really doing much, if any, retail. And I just thought, this is something that we're missing a big opportunity. And I was like, I've got just.
But then we don't have to invest and take it all on ourselves either, which is good.
Yeah. So it's a nice little way to kind of switch gears a little bit, and then we can see immediately too what people are responding to, and we got another dog moving into frame. This is Audrey, one of my
we have a little pup joining us, or a large pup.
These boundaries.
Yeah, they're all big. There's no little one.
Well, I love big dogs, so I understand. Yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, click over to YouTube and see the video, because we have lots of furry friends joining us. So
we got a real
perfect
ham
time. I think that she was getting tired of all this business talk, and she wants us to talk about dogs.
Yeah. She's like, let's talk about where it started, really.
So let's tell us all about your many animals that you two have together.
Okay, well, I have Beatrix and Midge. Beatrix, the Bernese mountain dog, and Midge is right back here and not cooperating.
Typical cat fashion.
Typical cat. And, well, she's no stranger to the camera, but
no.
she just likes it when it's not what you want.
When she's in control.
Exactly. So B is 6 and Midge is 3. And then
I've got Audrey, so she's my Blue Heeler Bernese Mountain Dog Cross, which is where all the Blue Heeler stuff came in, because she's very much split down the middle of those two breeds, and she's a great dog. She's 10, and then my other dog, Felix, is also 10, and he's a Lab Bernese, so he's 3/4 Bernese Mountain Dog and 1/4 Lab. And so I'm crazy and got an Audrey as a puppy, and then got Felix 6 months later. So now I have 2 10-year-old dogs that are aging at the same rate. So
but they're still puppies.
Yeah, knock on wood. They've been very healthy, and they're excellent dogs. And then I've got a cat over at my house named Liz Lemon, who came to me recently.
I love that name.
And she is
perfect for her.
She is a real Liz Lemon, and she was a little stray from the SPCA that I brought home to feed over the weekend when I worked at the vet clinic, and of course she never went back. And so she grew up with these dogs, and she sort of thinks she's a dog. I board dogs through the dog daycare, and every new dog that comes home, she trots up to them as quickly as these guys and checks them out and gives them a little smooch and samples their food.
Sure. That's awesome. Did you guys have a lot of pets growing up?
Yeah, we always had cats, and there were always dogs. We didn't have a lot of dogs when we were, I guess there was always a dog.
Yeah, so there's 8 years between us, too. So
when I was young, there was
when you were young, it was mostly cats, and then I always had a dog.
Right, and Rez was here,
We had a golden retriever when I was really young, and he lived to a good old age, and then we had a terrier cross who was a real feisty little naughty dog, and she lived to be 16. So Bambi had a cat that lived to be 20.
Over 20,
So we've had good luck with pets.
Pets.
So what is going to be your inspiration for your next illustration?
Well, we've got a bunch of things coming. We've got the ever-growing list of different things to do. We're going to do some Christmas things and some Christmas cards. And we're doing a calendar. And, we've got a bunch of things.
We've got some Newfie stuff that we're working on because we love Newfies. Everybody thinks that my dog Felix is a Newfie. And he actually, in our neighborhood, there's a family that's had, like, quite a few Newfies over the last 30 years. And right now they have a big girl named Bertha who is in love with Felix. And she's
too.
Yeah, even though he's a big dog, she looks at him and she's like, hey, little guy. So he's our inspiration for the newfies. So that's sort of something that we're developing.
Yeah, it's fun to do a bit more newfie stuff.
Yeah, and it's such an interesting breed, and they have, it's a very Canadian breed.
Yes.
And there's a lot to learn about them. So
fun
we
to
want
find
to
out
teach
the
people.
history and the little bits of trivia and that. We always have so much fun researching them. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like all the breeds that you work with are the kinds that people get repeatedly. Like, I'm a chocolate lab person, and I'm like, I just probably will keep getting chocolate labs. And so it seems like that's kind of a similar quality to like Bernese Mountain Dogs and some of the bigger breeds. People just fall in love with them.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
And once you get the dog with the temperament that just matches your lifestyle, it's we love our goofy, lazy dogs.
So I am asking everyone who's on this show about some personality qualities that they share with their pets. So
would you like to start?
Well, I think Bea and Midge are like, in a TV show where there's the angel and devil on your shoulder. That's Bea's, she's not, they're both a little bit devil, but Bea's very happy-go-lucky, fun-loving. She's social butterfly, just totally outgoing. She's licking the table. And Midge is laid back, but large and in charge and tough cookie. And, she's sort of typical cat, but she came to us. She was a cat that I got through the clinic, a cat that came home knocked up, and the clinic ended up adopting out the kitten. So she came. Oops.
She's like, get out of here. You're being annoying.
She came at 8 weeks, so she's just grown up with Bea, and she has definitely more dog traits than cat traits, I would say. So I think she's the smart ass for sure. So the humor side of me is on Midge, but Bea is just the nice, everybody loves her girl.
Yeah.
Except for Audrey right now. Audrey is the boss of all the dogs.
Yeah.
But Midge is the boss of Audrey. It's quite funny.
Yeah, she definitely gives in to the cats.
That's
For me, it's Audrey is one of those dogs that I think when people meet her, they think like, oh, is she a rescue? She's a little bit nervous. She's shy with some people right off the bat. Others, she's
all over.
Yeah, she will not leave them alone. And I've had her since she was 8 weeks old. She went to $25 a day Doggy Daycare. She's always gone to work with me. Never been.
She's not had one bad day in her life.
Yeah, exactly. But she's nervous and she gets anxious, and it's kind of interesting to me because I think that I just sort of always put her in new situations, and she learned to really like that. Like, even though it can be a nervous, anxious
she's nervous
dog
about specific things, but she's also a very confident dog.
I took her to swimming classes when she was a puppy because I wanted to sort of grow her confidence and teach her to be good in new situations. And now she's like champion swimmer. She loves swimming, and it's kind of interesting to see when people meet her and they think like, oh, this is a pretty nervous dog. She's like sort of panting, and then a minute later she's just like totally relaxed and ready to move on to the next thing. She
handles it.
Yeah, she's got a good philosophy, I think.
She's the inspiration.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm so inspired by not just my dog, but everyone else's dogs. I mean, they just like go with the flow, and they do so many entertaining things that can fuel our creative projects.
Yeah, they make up their minds they want something and they go for it too.
Yeah, exactly. So I love the shirts that you guys are wearing. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can see them. So tell everyone, because we're gonna wrap it up here, where they can find you, what you're excited for them to check out, and what you want them to do.
Okay, well, our shop, our Instagram is at beatrixandmidge.co, and that's also our website address, beatrixandmidge.co. And then if you want to follow just my dog and cat, they're Beatrix and Midge.
Yeah.
And Sienna's daycare.
My daycare is at dogcity.ca.
That's in Vancouver.
Yeah, and there's always lots of fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing the Instagram stories with the dogs.
Yeah, she's always a story master.
Yeah, they're always getting up to something fun, so that's worth checking out.
Yeah, I bet that's fun to watch.
It's super fun. And we've got some good fall and winter clothing choices coming out. We're doing some hoodies, and we've got some long sleeve shirts,
some baseball shirts that have gone. We put them up and they were selling immediately before we even advertised them, so that's good. So,
yeah,
that's awesome.
It's nice to transition into another season.
Yeah.
And the other thing we have on our site too, we've got a section where all of the products, like these ones, or this one with Beatrix and Midge on them, and also Ben, who's a cat who was a rescue. He went viral as the saddest cat on the internet, and some friends here in Vancouver rescued him, and so we're doing some fundraising with them. So the products on our site that feature him also, we donate a lot of the proceeds to local shelters. It's been really fun figuring that out as well. We're going to sort of get a little deeper into that as time goes on. But
help animals like him that are maybe have a few chronic health problems, and he's a young cat that they don't really know what happened to him, but he's in good hands now, and but he'll need a lot of care throughout his life, and
Sienna's seen so much of that at the clinic. It's just nice to be able to give some money, and it's nice to be able to pay attention to which shelters need a little bit more. A lot of the big shelters get a lot of attention, and some of the little ones locally especially are doing such an amazing job. So it's nice to be able to give some money directly to the ones that we know are doing really good work. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for being on season 1 of the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast.
Yay. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can't wait to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, there's 10 episodes in season 1, so lots of stuff for everyone to listen to and meet lots of awesome dog moms who are doing cool creative things.
Yay! Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Bye, Lucy.
Bye. Our dogs haven't been too good about making appearances.
Thank you for listening to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. You can fetch show notes for this episode at wearwagrepeat.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, Lucy and I will see you around the dog park.